A very good afternoon to you at home and welcome to the UJAW Miller Stadium in Johannesburg, South Africa. It is the second semi-final of the day here at the 2025 CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers. We're cruising nicely to the 31st of August where one team will be crowned champions of these qualifiers and book their ticket to represent the COSAFA region at the upcoming CAF Women's Champions League finals. The final is set to take place a little bit later on in the year. Well, our 3 o'clock kickoff here this afternoon is a repeat of one of our Group A ties. Mamelodi Sundowns Ladies FC of South Africa, the two-time regional champions, taking on Zambia's Zesco Ndola Girls FC. I think the Zambian outfit are having a good run at the qualifiers, making it to the last four at the first time of asking. The last times these two teams met, it was Sundowns winning narrowly by 1-0. So both teams are aware of what to expect from each other. Sundowns heading into this match on the back of topping Group A, winning 3 out of 3 of their matches played during the group stages. The Zambian outfit making it as the second best team in that Group A. Both teams know what is at stake here this afternoon, and both teams know very well what it is that they can expect from each other here on the field of play this afternoon. I had a chat with the coaches earlier on ahead of kickoff, and this is what they had to say. Coach, good afternoon. Congratulations on making it this far in the competition, 90 minutes away from booking a spot in the final. How are you feeling as the coach?
Yeah, we are happy that we're able to make sure that we top the group and be in the semi-finals. You know, it's going to be a very interesting encounter. We know that we've played against Zesco in the group stages. You know, but for us that's water under the bridge. It's a different ball game altogether. We actually are aware of the other adjustments that came from their performance the last game. We are aware of the threat that they could pose if not well attended to. We are aware also their best player, Piri, you know, playing in different positions, you know, running with the ball through the midfield, making sure that she drives the team forward. Yeah, we are quite aware, but for us again here today, we give the respect to them, but yeah, we're going to come and impose our game, make sure that we actually want to have a very strong start here today and make sure that if possible, we take the confidence from how we finished the game last time, start strong, try to get an early goal, you know, so that we get settled here.
Any changes to your starting 11?
No, it's the same starting 11 that started the last match.
And coach, you guys, you know, you've met each other before in the group stages. You narrowly won that match by 1-0. Does that make the time even more interesting because you know exactly what to expect from them? Yeah,
answer I said that, but for us, we are not focusing on that. You know, we are treating this as just a different game. This is a semi-final. You know, you gotta make sure that you bring your A game. We gotta make sure that we put our best foot forward. And yes, we won 1-0. And also I think that was not a true reflection of the game. I think we played better than the scoreline, you know. But yeah, as I said earlier, for us, we treat this match as another match, as a semi-final, as a very important match that we need to win so that we were able to move through to the final.
Thank you, Coach. All the best today.
Thank you.
Coach, good afternoon. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on making it this far in the competition. Your semi-final, your first here at the qualifiers on your debut. How are you feeling? What's the mood in the camp?
Thank you very much. Again, we have come back on this semi-final. We are very happy to be here, and we know this is a different day with its activities. So we are here now to prove ourselves that we can do it. Yes, this is a different ball game. We played in the first game we played. We saw how they were coming on us, and for us today now we have to go flat out.
Talk to me about what you're doing differently here this afternoon.
No, in the first we didn't play. We have never played the Sundown, and we didn't know the team. So since now we have known how they play, how they attack, their strength, their weakness, it's up to us now to do what to go forward and to work hard. Yes.
And Coach, what will a victory here this afternoon mean for you and the Zambian football fraternity as a whole?
It is very good for us and Zambia at all. I know home they are waiting for us to come with a victory, which we are ready to have positive results today. It's a do or die situation. So, yes.
And Coach, speaking of a do-or-die situation, at the first time we spoke during the start of the competition, you spoke about having maintained the same squad of players, and they've brought you this far in the competition. How proud are you of your talent?
I still have confidence in my girls. They can do it. They can turn the tables upside down. I have confidence. I know what they can do. Yes.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck today.
You're welcome.
A very big thank you to both our coaches. We're looking forward to a very exciting match. Remember, it is Mamelodi Sundowns Ladies FC of South Africa who take on Zambia's Zesco Ndola girls. It is the second semi-final here at the 2025 CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA Qualifiers. Ray Kuhn coming up with commentary.
And so the business end of the CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA Qualifiers is upon us. Gaborone United have booked their place in Sunday's grand final, but who will join them? Mamelodi Sundowns or perhaps Zesco Ndola girls? And there was the lady holding down commentary for you in the previous clash between Gaborone United and Costa do Sol, Gloria Brown watching on. One of many supporters that have slowly made their way into this stadium for one final time and for the penultimate game of the CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA Qualifiers. And for the second time in this competition, Sundowns and Zesco Ndola girls will collide. But this time around, the stakes are greater than before. For the past 7 days, it has been edge of your seat stuff in these COSAFA qualifiers. It has already been a tournament to remember, but the best part is yet to come, and these two famous teams collide for the second time in the competition. Will it be repeat or revenge? Mamelodi Sundowns or Zesco Ndola girls? Sundowns have never stumbled at the semi-final stage before. Their counterparts, Zesco Ndola, have never played a semi-final of this nature before. But at the end of the day, it is a semi-final. Anything can happen at any moment. Zesco Ndola girls are the clear underdogs, hoping that they can cause an upset against this mighty Mamelodi Sundowns team. The Sundowns starting side that has hardly changed much throughout the tournament. Magia starts for the second time in the competition with Melinda Kariete on the bench and Renal Donnelly nursing an injury. So everywhere you look, it's Banyana internationals all around in this Sundowns starting 11, together with Botswana's best, Refilwe Tsolakele. The lineup of officials for this massive bout, semi-final number 2 of the CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers. And the three officials should I say, manning the VAR station. We saw how useful it was in the first semi-final by overturning a penalty kick. And the two captains meet in the middle, Ramalepe and Bwalia, two right fullbacks as it happens. Both these captains, both these teams, single-minded of purpose. They share the ambition of wanting to compete in the CAF Women's Champions League, but only one will get their chance. The only absentee Zesco Ndola will have to compete without is Chitundu, their captain and one of their guiding stars in this competition. Her void is filled by terrific talents like Piri on the wing and Ndlovu on the other wing, Charity Mubanga and Milam Lambo up top, back into the starting 11 for the first time since round 1. And as I alluded to already, Bwalia leads the team in the absence of Chitundu, but she needs 10 other leaders to rise with her if Zesco Ndola really wish to topple Mamelodi Sundowns for the first time in this competition, and for the first time in 3 years in this very CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers. They've got a plethora of talents on the bench as well, together with this massive Mamelodi Sundowns squad that is deeply talented. final huddle for the Zesco Ndola girls, taking on Mamelodi Sundowns for the second time. Final prayer before they get stuck in for the fourth time in this competition, led by that lady on your screen in terms of the attacking front. She scored the last time these two sides met, and what a goal it was on the half volley outside of the box. And Butumelo Rapale starts again for Mamelodi Sundowns. Of course she does. Coached by this man, Godfrey Sapula, in his heyday donned the famous Brazilian colours himself as a player, and now he leads them from the bench. His opposite number, William Zulu, was visibly upset after his side's 5-3 victory over Ntopwa. More upset after that victory than they lost to Mamelodi Sundowns, but he did say that they studied the result and the defeat against Mamelodi Sundowns. But can they produce a much improved performance, because it's going to take some effort indeed to surprise, to shock Mamelodi Sundowns and the southern region. All systems go. Zesco Ndola kick the second semi-final off, and they are playing from right to left. Mamelodi Sundowns receiving them in those famous Brazilian colours. And it's a pleasure as always to narrate the action for you, especially when it's this high stakes. Ramalepe captaining the team again, making her fourth start in a row. Magia back in the starting side as well, in the absence of Khadiete and the injured Renal Donnelly, which is really such a shame. But Magia has been in very good nick. She's also scored in this competition once already as a substitute, yet to do so as a starter. She also occupies a variety of positions in the front line, does Magia. And the lady protecting the Zesco Ndola goal, Hazel Nali. If she can keep a clean sheet this afternoon, you would think that Zesco Ndola girls might just have a surprise up their sleeves. It's all about how sturdy they are defensively and how much of a risk they are willing to take when they attack Mamelodi Sundowns, because they didn't really risk much in the first round, as Magia tries to lay it up for Tolakele, and then Esane with a lovely touch over the top for Asanda Hadebe, and off her goal line in a flash was Hazel Nali. Here's Piri, undoubtedly Zesco Ndola's best player of the competition so far, so Mamelodi Sundowns will look to marshal her. Piri in the number 7 for Zesco Ndola. Here she is. Scored a stupendous individual goal against Ntopwa in the last round. Tandi receives a blow to the head, and Bwalia too. We saw a head clash in the first semi-final, and there was a bit of a lengthy stoppage to that one. And as you can see, that is agonizingly painful. Both players, Bwalia and Mtandi, in real discomfort. Already just over 2.5 minutes into this game, neither one of these two teams, neither one of these two ladies willing to back down. Sanda Hadebe down the left-hand side for Mamelodi Sundowns. Had a good performance in the last round against Namibia's Beauties. A few of her corner kicks resulted in a goal for Mbane. Not only a goal, but 3 of them for Bambanani Mbane. Also, concerning faces on the Mamelodi Sundowns bench, considering how impressive Mtandi has been for them, not only in this continental showdown, but in the Hollywood Bet Super League as well. And you would hope that it doesn't swell up too much. And where the contact was made will be crucial, and you can see that Mthandi was caught in the eye socket or just above the eye. Could easily lead to bruising and swelling. But she's off the field of play now, and the match will restart with a drop ball. There was high drama today already in that first semi-final, and especially on Wednesday as well, when teams were scrambling for a place in these semi-finals. But in the end, 6 clubs have departed this competition. Once the dust settles in this second semi-final, only 2 teams will remain. Bambanani backtracks, puts Dlamini under pressure, who gets away with it. Almost a reckless start, and Dlamini is off her goal line. Chance for Ndlovu to have a go, and she does. And Mbane closes her down. Zesco Ndola going to go at Mamelodi Sundowns. Despite what happened in the previous game, playing with more confidence, a more determined Zesco Ndola outfit this time around. They are simply not going to allow Mamelodi Sundowns to dictate and control proceedings like they did on Sunday. If they simply allow Mamelodi Sundowns to play their style of football freely, then it's going to be a long afternoon for the Zambians, and that is exactly what they've recognized. Good pressure from Mila Mlambo, who also had a fantastic showing against Mtopwa in that third and final group match. Mthandi was in need of medical help, and Andile Dlamini was caught. And that man, centre of your picture, the most staunchest, most zealous Zambian supporter of Zambian football. And it just so happens that Zesco Ndola represent the Zambian fraternity this afternoon. Huge outing for them. History made already by appearing in these semi-finals for the first time. And history will really be made if they can shock Sundowns. Delivered by Piri. Through the crowd, and Magia lets it run. Sundowns have been flawless so far, and they arrive at this critical juncture in the semi-finals after absolutely decimating Namibia's beauties with 7 unanswered goals. And that result would have struck fear into many teams heading into these semi-finals. But Zesco Ndola have the appetite for an upset. Mbane scratches it clear for Sundowns. This didn't happen too often in the first match, with Zesco Ndola playing in the Mamelodi Sundowns half, but it's a much more confident and assured start to this match. Mthandi, she's shaken off the blow. Ramalepe, also a goal scorer against Namibia's beauties. Biana has it taken off her by Esther Muchinga, but it's won back by Sundowns. Tolakele scored a brace against beauties. Mbane closed down again. Tough start for the hat-trick heroine. And then Makubela steps in and just puts too much, a little bit too much on that spread to Magia. Sundowns don't often go direct, so that's a good sign for Zesco Ndola girls. Hazel Nali to Judith Soko. Wayward touch allows Mamelodi Sundowns to set up camp in the Zesco Ndola half, and the throw-in is taken quickly. Esane puts it in the box, puts too much on the cross. It is a semi-final. Anything can happen. There will be nerves. And although Mamelodi Sundowns have been here, they've performed on this kind of stage countless times before, you can never really grow fully accustomed to the pressure of playing in a semi-final. And because Zesco Ndola are appearing in a semi-final for the first time, they have absolutely nothing to lose, as the cliche goes. Ndlovu through the center. Biana steps in for Sundowns then Rabale is caught. Caught by Esther Muchinga. Her midfield partner is Penelope Mulubwa. But I doubt that Zesco Ndola are playing with just two ladies in the middle of the park. They need more bodies in there. That is something that William Zulu recognized after the first match. And it's quite congested there in the middle. That's why Esane takes it out wide to Tolakele, who tries her best to deliver across. Just ran out of room and fell off balance. Did the Botswana international. Will take on a few of her countrywomen if Mamelodi Sundowns were to surpass Zesco Ndola today. It's not going to be easy. Esane goes on, steps back up. Tolakele, Magia, is this number one? It's deflected. Maybe Rabale. That's some heroic defending by Esther Muchinga. First eye-catching moment of this second semi-final so far. It nearly broke for Rabale. Third Mamelodi Sundowns player down in the space of just 10 minutes. We saw Ronald Donnelly pick up a knee injury in round 2 against Ntopwa. And as is the case in a short and sweet tournament like this one, players are forced to play with a bit of injury, maybe some niggles and knocks. And she's often challenged and tackled, is Esane, just because she operates with the ball ever so smoothly. She is a threat, therefore she is a target for the opposition. Play restarts. Bane scored 2 headed goals against Beauties and 1 with her foot. Judith Soko can come away with it now for Zesco Ndola girls. She doesn't get very far. Ndile Dlamini. Sundowns are after another golden ticket to the ultimate continental showdown later this year. They've of course been there before, so it'll be no great surprise to see them in that continental competition again. But as for Zesco Ndola, they've never been here before. They've never been to the CAF Women's Champions League before. So they are playing for a chance at making some history. Kind of history that Green Buffaloes made not too long ago, 2 years ago in fact. Piri hassles Asana Hadebe. It doesn't get the outcome that she wanted. But she was a mesmeric watch against Ntopwa. Had the ball on the string, did not miss a pass, and scored a goal right at the end of the game. Mixed in with all her delightful dribbles in between. Hazel Nali put under pressure. She wants a handball, and the referee's whistle is blown to save her. Look at that touch by Piri. And she emerges ever so well with it. Milam Lambo just lost sight of the ball. And that cost the Zesco Ndola attack. But there's the magic of Piri already coming to the fore. Ramalepe, risky. Dlamini gives it back to the Sundowns captain. Commanding presence in the midfield is Biana. But there's some tricky customers that she'll have to contend with. Second set-piece chance of the game for Zesco Ndola. And the first time that Judith Soko is going to take it. Rabale, good spot, good pass to Magia, who's on the loose, slips one through to Mtandi. Took it wayward, but she controlled it nicely. Esane into the box. Might it break for Mtandi again? She's beaten to it by Ndlovu. Now Jacqueline Chomba, Milam Lambo, Biana, Rabale. There's space. Oohs and ahs ringing around the ground. This is what Mamelodi Sundowns are good at. Delicate interplay in the pockets, manufacturing their own space. Tola Kele might have been the better option for Rabale in that example. Kubela. Charge down. Chance for Zesco Ndola girls. Came with Makubela last, making amends for giving the ball away. Corner kick opportunity nonetheless. Charity Mubanga is proving to be some handful already. An experienced Banyana international, caught on the ball for far too long. Milam Lambo delivers. One of the tallest players delivers across to one of the shortest. There's Piri. She's going to take on her marker. She's going to take on Hadebe, but she says no and she shuts the door. Third corner for the Zambian champs. Strategy of zonal marking by Mamelodi Sundowns. Interesting passage of play so far. Rabale has to do defensive work. Jacqueline Chomba. Rabale again. Now Mamelodi Sundowns and Zesco might have been absent from the previous edition, but they'll know that they are only 2 performances away from the prize they so desperately sought. Qualification for the CAF Women's Champions League. It doesn't get much sweeter than that, besides winning it, of course. Charity Mubanga again. This Zesco Ndola press is starting to yield dividend. Free kick opportunity, Mamelodi Sundowns starting a bit on the ropes and inviting the Zesco Ndola pressure and caving and giving fouls away, giving free kicks and corner kicks away. They've been so composed and confident in all 3 of their previous matches, in how they started all 3 of their previous matches. But I mentioned, it is a semi-final, and knockout games do strange things. They do the strangest things to the biggest of teams. Now Piri. She scored from the edge of the box or just outside of the box against Ntopwa. What can she offer now? Piri goes for it. Too much elevation. But she'll be a threat throughout this contest for Mamelodi Sundowns. Zesco Ndola have already offered many more chances, many more attacks than they did in the entire match against Mamelodi Sundowns first time around. A different team this afternoon, a different performance so far. Magia up against the Zesco captain. Magia is quick with her feet and quick with her thinking process. Judith Soko reads the play so well, and she steps out from that defense, gives it to Piri. It's go forward ball for Zesco Ndola. The back heel doesn't come off. It's a very tight and tense start so far. It's exactly what we expected. Although Zesco Ndola aren't allowing Mamelodi Sundowns to control possession like they did in that first match. More confrontational this time around. Confrontational in a good sense. 20 minutes, 20 and a half minutes on the clock, in fact. Still no separation between the South African and Zambian champions. If Mamelodi Sundowns were to go all the way, it will be another stepping stone achievement, because the prize they truly are after is the CAF Women's Champions League, and they have won this competition twice before. They have won the CAF Women's Champions League twice before as well, Mamelodi Sundowns. Ramalepe hooks it to Tolakele, who heads it, or tries to at least, to Esani. Ramalepe in the mood, in the rush. Hazelnali Biana meets it nicely. Tolakele. For the second time in quick succession, she just got that through ball wrong. But it is there. The pass is on for Tolakele, and she knows it. Magia is a dangerous customer on the edge of the box, but especially when she chases through balls in behind the defense. She won't be allowed to have too much space, one would think. The Zesco Ndola defense is well drilled, and Judith Soko takes a late challenge from Esani. It's the exact same Mamelodi starting side that started against Namibia's Beauties. Took them a few minutes to score their first goal, but once they did, it did not stop. They went on to score 6 more to round up a 7-0 drumming. Here's Bwalia. It's a good pick out from her to Charity Mubanga. Charity Mubanga didn't start the last match for Zesco Ndola against Malawi's Ntopwa, but when she came on, she almost made an instant impact. She can play in the midfield and she can play up top, like she is proving to do in this match. A number of challenges going on between Esane and Soko on this left-hand side. Getting in nice and tight on Mamelodi's Mamelodi Sundowns number 6. Tolakele, Biana. Closer forward. Ramalepe delivers to Magia, who challenges in the air. Hazel Nali drops it, and then Rabale goes for it. And then clatters into the goalkeeper. Always second favourite to that ball, Potumelo Rabale. But you don't blame her for taking it on, and some brave display by the goalkeeper there. Might have been impeded with Magia leaning into her. These days you can't lay a fingertip on the goalkeeper. But the second challenge, I think, from Rabale was so much worse. That is what has caused this brief stoppage in play, as William Zulu has a discussion with Charity Mubanga and Milam Lambo, who also scored a rocket of a goal against Mtopwa. And those two ladies, Bambanani and Bane and Lebogang Ramalepe, have shared the stage for club and country so many times before. They know one another's games intimately well. But so do Zesco Ndola girls. Hazel Nali is integral. Esther Muchinga, vital. And throughout this semi-final, we will see just how much each team has learned after their clash in the group stage just days ago with one another. Already a different strategy adopted by Zesco Ndola. Mamelodi Sundowns trying to cement that existing strategy, which is to control possession, stifle the opposition. They haven't done so. Penelope Molubwa off to Milam Lambo. Chops in from the wide region. Piri, very tame. She just rushed her attempt in the face of Ramalepe. Very tactical game so far. Physical 1-2. That ball just hit the referee. Here goes Biana. Knows what it takes to achieve continental success. Tolakele was unable to be involved in the last CAF Women's Champions League due to a long-standing, long-term injury that she has since defeated and overcome. And she's back and better than ever, is Tolakele. Muchinga. Ramalepe. Clever header. Tandi with time and space, and she tries to pick out Rabale, who was on the move off the ball. No team have been able to get close and lay a glove on Banyana Bastille just yet, let alone score against them in this competition. One of these Zesco Ndola girls will be hoping that they can throw a cat amongst the pigeons. And if Zesco Ndola girls were to win this match, you could argue, easily argue, that it would be the biggest upset victory in the 5-year history of the CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers. But to achieve such a seismic upset, Zesco Ndola need to stay in the hunt throughout the game. We know that Mamelodi Sundowns have this unique ability to discover another gear in the second half. When the opposition starts to tire, Sundowns can speed it up. So Zesco Ndola need to pace themselves, wait for their moments, and take those moments. And they are much more cohesive, much more understanding of the game plan this time around. Of the Zesco Ndola girls. As for him, William Zulu, he masterminded victories against the likes of elite ladies as well as former champions Green Buffaloes back home in Zambia. Cutthroat matches where the stakes were high and the pressure was on. And many eyes locked on this match. Many Mamelodi Sundowns supporters and a noisy pocket of Zambian supporters as well. Buzzing atmosphere in the stands. Subdued emotions on both benches. How about the playing surface here at the A.W. Miller Stadium? The grass has held up rather well, considering that there has been non-stop action and 14 matches on this ground in the space of only just 7 days. So huge credit to the UJ groundskeepers for maintaining this turf, and of course huge credit to COSAFA for staging another successful CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualification bonanza. Isn't Lovu and Judith Soko half an hour already played, 15 minutes to go before the pause button is pressed. So these 15 minutes very important in the grander scheme of things. Tolakele playing in her favored position. That is why already much more dangerous from that left-hand side. Esane, what a touch to Rabale. No foul for Sundowns, no foul for Rabale. Chance for Zesco Ndola on the break. Piri does have the pace. Will she take on Ramalepe? Will she go for it? She really does neither. Didn't back herself there, did Piri. And Lamini hangs it up high. Chomba waited for the ball to bounce. Tandi. Tolakele, she's got Jacqueline Chomba for company. Tandi goes in, and Hazel Nali catches. Although that ball did skip off quite quickly off the surface, and it took her by surprise just a little bit. We've seen how goalkeepers in this competition have already been deceived by a few nasty and wicked bounces of the ball. Esther Muchinga, power horse in that midfield for Zesco Ndola. She'll want to keep a bit of energy in her tank for that crucial second half. Lamini yet to really make one noticeable save in this competition, but she has nonetheless marshaled the defense rather well. Although they are making some unforced errors this afternoon, a kind of errors we haven't seen creep into Mamelodi Sundowns game in quite some time in this competition. Akubela, she did score in that 2023 semi-final against Green Buffaloes. Pampanani Mbane. Here is Rabale with the no-look pass. And Hadebe. Mtandi. Just across the face. Sundowns back to front in the nick of time. A quick and concise Mamelodi Sundowns attack. Started by that ball by Biana, and then Mtandi, who didn't have options in the middle, but she wasn't to know, and I don't know if she was going for the cross or perhaps looking to stick the ball in to that top left-hand corner. And I'm wondering what is being discussed there. Maybe a potential VAR check. Or is the VAR experiencing some technical difficulties according to that signal? I do not know. And while we wait to find out what happened in that instance, Zesco Ndola attack again. A lot more forward thinking in this match. Dlamini. Almost Edison-like in her approach. Sana Hadebe, lively and vibrant on that left-hand side. Tandi just signaling to the Lions lady there that the ball did not go out of play. So far, so good from a Zesco Ndola point of view. At this point in the previous match, they already conceded a Rabale goal, and for the rest of the match, they were chasing Mamelodi Sundowns. But they are still on level footing for the time being, with about 9 or so minutes to go before the half-time whistle sounds. Piri, and I just received confirmation in my ear that the virtual assistant referee, the technology, is currently experiencing some technical difficulties, so the referee will be without it, which means the final decision by that lady in pink will stand until the system is up and running again. And VAR might have had a look at that, although there wasn't any real significant contact, despite the high boots by Ndlovu. 14 fouls already, Mamelodi Sundowns, committing 9 of those. Tandi keeps on going. Chomba meets it with her head. Rabale skips past one marker, effortlessly so. Hadebe tries to keep it in. She does. Albeit temporarily, but it's a Zesco Ndola throw in at the end of the day. Well, yeah, told to take it back, to its mark. Biana gets her head to it first. Tolakele fouled on the edge of the box for Mamelodi Sundowns. Don't want to be giving away free kicks in that kind of zone, especially with the likes of Majia Esane and Tolakele hovering about. Does favor the right boot slightly, you would say, just because of the angle, so Rabale might not take this one for Mamelodi Sundowns. might back herself, but it seems as if Esane is the lady placing the ball just how she wants it, so that she can hit it just how she likes. Referee just signaling to those ladies in the wall, keep your hands down. Bit of a tight angle, but a chance. So the virtual assistant referee is back and running. And the referee is just confirming that bit of news to respective captains. The VAR is back and Big Brother is watching again. Mamelodi Sundowns in no rush to take this free kick. Perhaps they've got a plan. Esane and Rabale relaying that plan. Doesn't seem as if it's going to be Esane anymore. Rabale puts it through and evaded everyone's grasp. Took us all by surprise there by that free kick routine. And Makubela just couldn't quite adjust her body in time. Seems like it actually came off Piri last. But no Sundowns corner kick. Final moments of the first half. Mtandi charges the clearance down. Tolakele. And after charging the clearance down, Mtandi is a bit winded, out of breath. Sundowns have been on a terrifying tear in the goal scoring department in this competition. 11 goals in their previous 3 matches, but Zesco Ndola have been just as impressive when it comes to goal scoring. Charity Mubanga into the box. Piri just couldn't make the most of that chance. Difficult for a diminutive player like herself, who wants it to feet, ideally. Perhaps could have nodded that one to Ndlovu. They are committing bodies forwards, Zesco Ndola. In that example, there were 3 or 4 players dressed in green and orange in the Sundowns box. And that rarely happened in that Group A affair between these two on Sunday afternoon. A lot has happened since then. Tactics have been adjusted. Some players have fallen to injuries and niggles. Makubela being the latest on the list. Piri in consultation with William Zulu. Makubela in need of the stretcher. And the Mamelodi Sundowns assistant coach there, Agnes Tandiwe Nkosi, telling Esane exactly what she needs to do, where the space is, where she needs to go, and who she needs to look for when she enters the final third. And Ndlovu is working hard, deserves that sip of water. Tough task this is proving to be for Mamelodi Sundowns ladies, the underdogs, proving to hold firm. And although Zesco Ndola were too timid, too circumspect in their first meeting with Sundowns, in their other 2 matches in the competition, the Zambians found the back of the net with relative ease. They scored 3 goals against Beauties in the very first match of the competition, and then scored 5 against Ntopwa. So perhaps that Mamelodi Sundowns defeat was a bit of a blessing in disguise for Zesco Ndola, who qualified as the best runner-up for the semi-finals. And they qualified due to a superior goal difference. So their goal-scoring capabilities is what brought them here. And that is what is ultimately going to decide the outcome of this semi-final. Are we going to see another Botswana and South African matchup, just like we did last year with Gaborone United and UWC? Gaborone United losing finalists from last year, finalists again this year. But who will they meet? The identity of the other finalist still unknown. And a whopping 6 minutes of additional time. No real surprise considering how many delays there have been in this first half. Not exactly a free-flowing match. Far from a free-flowing match. Sundowns could knock the ball around with ease in the group stage, but a knockout match requires a different tactical ploy, perhaps. Biana, Piri, now Ntandi. Put Asanda Hadebe under pressure, but Biana escapes with it and is not on the same wavelength as Esane. Bit of a disjointed outing so far for Mamelodi Sundowns ladies. The Zambian ladies making it tough for them in every aspect of the contest. Mamelodi Sundowns have only really had that one chance at the Zesco Ndola goal. But Zesco Ndola themselves haven't been able to produce quality chances. Ramalepe looks to throw it down the line and Pini reads it. Esane got away with one there. Biana. Ramalepe in a whole lot of room to whip in the cross to Magia, who couldn't get a toe on it. Every time she's in space like that, Ramalepe is going to lift her head and whip in across. Rabale. And it seems like Zesco Ndola have a defensive answer for every attacking question Mamelodi Sundowns have posed so far. But here they go themselves with Milam Lambo. The cross needs to be a good one, and it's far too close, far too easy for Dlamini. Half time of stoppage time, 3 minutes to go. Rabale committing a foul. Whether she did it with intent or not is uncertain. Jacqueline Chomba, Bane, Esane, Mulubwa. Esane falls to go back to Dlamini. A lot still to come in the second half. Expect the play to be a whole lot more open, perhaps even more entertaining, because there will be even more nerves on show in the second half, especially towards the end of the 90. There's Magia, an emerging prospect from the Northern Cape, now one of the finest talents in the Hollywood Bet Super League. And she hasn't started too many matches for Mamelodi Sundowns because the competition is so unbelievably rife. But every time she does start, every time she does come off the bench, she looks to play with vigor and verve, does Thabiseng Magia. Less than 90 seconds, in fact, of this first half to go. Tolakele uses her body well. Esane looks to keep it alive. Ramalepe, that is sumptuous. Is Rabale onside? She sticks it away and the flag has stayed down. Rabale scores just like she did on Sunday against Zesco Ndola girls. It's been a tough first half so far. They couldn't find a way through, and eventually Boitumelo Rabale doing so for the Brazilians. It was always destined to be her. Questions around whether she was onside or not, but great piece of skill by Ramalepe, and as you can see there, when the ball was delivered, Ramalepe was onside. But is Tolakele interfering with play, maybe? Is she interfering with the goalkeeper's vision? That's VAR's decision, but Rabale was definitely onside, took it down very nicely and stuck it away very nicely as well. And that's exactly what everyone is waiting for. The virtual assistant referee just having a final check. This is going to be a very interesting call, a defining call in this second semi-final. All eyes on the referee. We know that the virtual assistant referee was down for about 5 minutes or so, and then they got the system back up and running again. And this requires some investigation and interrogation. And we saw a penalty kick overturned in the first match. Will this goal be chalked off? Perfect time to score just before the break for Mamelodi Sundowns. It was tough going for them. Zesco Ndola made it incredibly hard for them to play their usual stuff in this first half. And this is a rather lengthy investigation by the virtual assistant referee, but that is something that we've grown accustomed to. Stoppage time of the first half has elapsed. Will the first half end off with a Mamelodi Sundowns goal, or with a Mamelodi Sundowns goal being cancelled? Rabale's goal against Zesco Ndola girls on Sunday was rather outrageous, how she took it on from outside of the box. Different kind of finish this one was. Typical Rabale finish, but will it stand? There's 3 VAR officials, and it seems like they might have reached their conclusion. The goal does stand. Mamelodi Sundowns strike first in this semi-final. Exactly what they intended to do, and just like she did on Sunday, Rabale riveting again, and Fleming Berg is watching on. Sporting director of Mamelodi Sundowns will definitely be very, very pleased with that goal. not the typical beautiful Mamelodi Sundowns performance that we might have seen in this competition already. But you don't need to be beautiful in order to be efficient, and Mamelodi Sundowns have been efficient enough to claim a 1-goal lead. A crucial goal scored by Rabale on the brink of half-time. But that's not to say Zesco Ndola will come out firing in the second half. They are still very much in this contest, and they are a team with a tremendous amount of belief. And they had a few set-piece chances, a few corner kicks, a few moments here and there, but in the end, Rabale's goal is the only thing that really matters after the first half. A Johannesburg skyline in the backdrop, and the scoreline in front of us. Mamelodi Sundowns 1, Zesco Ndola 0 after the first half. Now, the goal attempts quite similar, shots on target quite similar, possession also very similar indeed. But the main statistic reads Sundowns 1, Zesco Ndola girls 0. Stay on the stream for the second half to come in about 15 minutes or so. Before, but at the end of the day, it is a semi-final. Anything can happen at any moment. Zesco Ndola girls are the clear underdogs, hoping that they can cause an upset against this mighty Mamelodi Sundowns team. The Sundowns starting side that has hardly changed much throughout the tournament. Magia starts for the second time in the competition with Melinda Khariete on the bench and Ronald Donnelly nursing an injury. So everywhere you look, it's Banyana internationals all around in this Sundowns starting 11, together with Botswana's best, Refilwe Tsolakele. The lineup of officials for this massive bout, semi-final number 2 of the CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers. And the three officials should I say, manning the VAR station. We saw how useful it was in the first semi-final by overturning a penalty kick. And the two captains meet in the middle, Ramalepe and Bwalia, two right fullbacks as it happens. Both these captains, both these teams, single-minded of purpose. They share the ambition of wanting to compete in the CAF Women's Champions League, but only one will get their chance. The only absentee Zesco Ndola will have to compete without is Chitundu, their captain and one of their guiding stars in this competition. Her void is filled by terrific talents like Piri on the wing and Ndlovu on the other wing, Charity Mubanga and Milam Lambo up top, back into the starting 11 for the first time since round 1. And as I alluded to already, Bwalia leads the team in the absence of Chitundu, but she needs 10 other leaders to rise with her if Zesco Ndola really wish to topple Mamelodi Sundowns for the first time in this competition, and for the first time in 3 years in this very CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers. They've got a plethora of talents on the bench as well, together with this massive Mamelodi Sundowns squad that is deeply final. Only 2 teams will remain. Bambanani backtracks, puts Dlamini under pressure, who gets away with it. Almost a reckless start, and Dlamini is off her goal line. Chance for Ndlovu to have a go, and she does. And Mbane closes her down. Zesco Ndola going to go at Mamelodi Sundowns. Despite what happened in the previous game, playing with more confidence, a more determined Zesco Ndola outfit this time around. They are simply not going to allow Mamelodi Sundowns to dictate and control proceedings like they did on Sunday. If they simply allow Mamelodi Sundowns to play their style of football freely, then it's going to be a long afternoon for the Zambians, and that is exactly what they've recognized. Good pressure from Milam Lambo, who also had a fantastic showing against Esane into the box. Might it break for Mtandi again? She's beaten to it by Ndlovu. Now Jacqueline Chomba, Milam Lambo, Biana, Rabale, there's space. Oohs and ahs ringing around the ground. This is what Mamelodi Sundowns are good at. Delicate interplay in the pockets, manufacturing their own space. Tolakele might have been the better option for Rabale in that example. Kakubela. Charge down. Chance for Zesco Ndola girls. Came with Makubela last, making amends for giving the ball away. Corner kick opportunity nonetheless. Charity Mubanga is proving to be some handful already. An experienced Banyana international, caught on the ball for far too long. Topwa, what can she offer now? Piri goes for it. Too much elevation. She'll be a threat throughout this contest for Mamelodi Sundowns. Tolakele, Biana, closer forward. Ramalepe delivers to Magia, who challenges in the air. Hazel Nali drops it, and then Rabale goes for it, and then clatters into the goalkeeper. Always second favourite to that ball, Botumelo Rabale, but you don't blame her for taking it on, and some brave display by the goalkeeper there. Might have been impeded with Magia leaning into her. These days you can't lay a fingertip on the goalkeeper. Pampanani Mbane. Here is Rabale with the no-look pass. In Hadebe, Mtandi, just across the face. Sundowns back to front in the nick of time. A quick and concise Mamelodi Sundowns attack, started by that ball by Biana, and then Mtandi, who didn't have options in the middle, but she wasn't to know, and I don't know if she was going for the cross or perhaps looking to stick the ball in. So the virtual assistant referee is back and running. And the referee is just confirming that bit of news to respective captains. The VAR is back and Big Brother is watching again. Mamelodi Sundowns in no rush to take this free kick. Perhaps they've got a plan. Esane and Rabale relaying that plan. Doesn't seem as if it's going to be Esane anymore. Rabale puts it through and evaded everyone's grasp. Took us all by surprise there by that free kick routine. And Makubela just couldn't quite adjust her body in time. Seems like it actually came off Piri. Sundowns have been on a terrifying tear in the goal scoring department in this competition. 11 goals in their previous 3 matches. But Zesco Ndola have been just as impressive when it comes to goal scoring. Charity Mubanga into the box. Piri just couldn't make the most of that chance. Difficult for a diminutive player like herself, who wants it to feet, ideally. Perhaps could have nodded that one to Ndlovu. They are committing bodies forwards, Zesco Ndola. In that example, there were 3 or 4 players dressed. Ramalepe looks to throw it down the line, and Pini reads it. Sane got away with one there. Biana. Ramalepe in a whole lot of room to whip in the cross to Magia, who couldn't get a toe on it. Every time she's in space like that, Ramalepe. Esane looks to keep it alive. Ramalepe, that is sumptuous. Is Rabale onside? She sticks it away and the flag has stayed down. Rabale scores just like she did on Sunday against Zesco Ndola girls. It's been a tough first half so far. They couldn't find a way through. And eventually, Boitumelo Rabale doing so for the Brazilians. It was always destined to be her. Questions around whether she was onside or not, but great piece of skill by Ramalepe. And as you can see there, when the ball was delivered, Ramalepe was onside. But is Tolakele interfering with play, maybe? Is she interfering with the goalkeeper's vision? That's VAR's decision, but Rabale was definitely onside, took it down very nicely and stuck. So we're at the business end of the competition, semi-final number 2, and that is the state of affairs after the first half. Mamelodi Sundowns capturing a slender 1-goal advantage over Zesco Ndola girls, and Godfrey Sepula has chosen to take the proactive approach to introduce Isabella Ludwig, who's been making substitute appearances all competition long, and she will come on now to replace Nolong Esane. Isabella Ludwig will slot into that midfield. Yet to score a goal in this competition. She came close to doing so against Malawi's in Topwa. And she's got a full 45 minutes for the first time in this competition to express herself. She is, after all, still a new signing, still finding her way in that Brazilian jersey, but there is so much talent there. As for Zesco Ndola girls, is the comeback, is a fight back on the cards. They lost by a single goal to nil against Mamelodi Sundowns in round 1 in the group stage. They will want to avoid that same fate this afternoon, because if they can't, they will crash out of the competition, head back to Zambia, having made some history, having qualified for the semi-final stage at the first time of asking. As tournament debutants, they really have played with a lot of belief, and they've ruffled a few feathers. Not many expected them to perhaps be here, especially after their defeat against Mamelodi Sundowns in the group stage, but they progressed with Sundowns to these semi-finals as Ludwig combines with Magia, and Ludwig is on the overlap on the other side, and Magia finds her way inwards. Rabale is always looking to turn, always looking to fire in a shot. Hadebe does that, and she fires without purpose. So beaten twice already in this competition. Hazel Nali by the same player, by Boitumelo Rabale. Not the greatest goal kick. Tolakele asks a lot of Isabella Ludwig, and her run just forced Judith Soko to kick the ball out into touch, providing Mamelodi Sundowns a corner kick opportunity. They did score 3 goals from 3 different corner kicks, and Mbane getting on the end of those, of all 3 of those corner kicks. So she'll without doubt be a target for Rabale to pick out, and Bambanani Mbane will be a target to mark for Zesco Ndola girls. It's up towards her, and the goalkeeper read it. She got a good punch on it. Ludwig, caught on her heels. Piri. That's some challenge there by Biana. Breaks kindly for Penelope Mulubwa. Pass wasn't quite there. Well, she is delaying play, is Dlamini. She delayed play a number of times in that first half, which allowed Zesco Ndola girls to settle back into their shape and to cause Mamelodi Sundowns a few problems in their intent to play out from the back. Sana Hadebe challenged. Piri did not give up the chase. Makubela did encounter a knock in the first half. She's back on her feet, and she also didn't start the first match for Mamelodi Sundowns, wasn't involved in that first match against Mtopwa, but she's been involved, and she's started every game since for Mamelodi Sundowns. as has Mtandi in this competition. She's been slightly off the boil this afternoon. Rabale looks ahead, looks for Magia, fails to find her. Magia was a little bit naughty there. The only time she did score was against Mtopwa. She scored the third and final goal in that match. She's a decent goal poacher, is Magia, but she's also very good at stringing and combining passes together with her teammates in and around the box. More like a false nine than anything else. Free kick in a central zone here for Zesco Ndola girls. Might just be in Jacqueline Chomba territory. She usually tends to take the free kicks that are a bit further outside of the box. Three clean so far in the competition for Dlamini. 3 clean sheets on the bounce. Can she make it 4 from 4? When they last featured in this competition, she did only concede the 1 goal. This time around, she's looking to go 1 better. Zesco Ndola girls, led by Piri, will not give up the fight. It's going to be Piri. She's going for it, and Dlamini catches it very nicely. Her eyes were peeled, and she caught it without fault. Difficult catch, with the ball bobbing and weaving in the air. But she is South Africa's #1 goalkeeper for very, very good reason. Kubela. No nonsense clearance from the defender, and Ludwig just misjudges the bounce of the ball. Piri up against Makubela again. Difficult back pass for Dlamini to deal with, but she did ever so well to concede a throw-in instead of a corner kick or something worse. Balya. Piri. Good delivery that was from Piri. Mulubwa. Milam Lambo. Won the aerial duel against Ramalepe. Booting it high towards Jacqueline Chomba, who has changed her position. A little bit more of a midfielder now, instead of a defender. Piri nearly snuck that one through the legs of Hadebe to Charity Mubanga. More of a defensive display this time around from Masanda Hadebe. She's been more of an attacking fullback throughout the competition. Different role for her this afternoon. Different kind of Zesco Ndola challenge. Penelope Mulubwa, good ball from her. The touch wasn't what it needed to be, but Dlamini has parried it. Dlamini has made a howler. Zesco Ndola equalize. Piri strikes. Count them out at your own peril. Out of the blue, Zesco Ndola girls equalize through their star lady. Through the lady that was always going to make an impact on a day like today. And now we've got a game on our hands. Beautiful pass that was from Penelope Mulubwa, and then we thought Dlamini might have had it covered. She should have had it smothered and covered. But it slipped out of her grasp fact, she caught it and then her knee just bumped the ball out of her grasp. And Piri was on standby where she needed to be. And she was never going to miss from there. A fox in the box, a real poacher's instinct. And to make matters worse, Mamelodi Sundowns have another lady down. They would have been motivated, inspired, galvanized during the half-time team talk. And for the first time in this competition, Mamelodi Sundowns have conceded because of that lady. I was just alluding to the fact that Dlamini was seeking 4 consecutive clean sheets. Not to be. And she was to blame for allowing Zesco Ndola back into this game. And those are the kind of things that can happen in semi-finals. Goals from nothing, and goals to make the tie ever more interesting. 1-1. Biana. Maybe going for goal, maybe just looking to put Zesco Ndola nice and deep in their own half. But Zesco deserved that goal for their first half performance, for how present they were in the match. They were in the passenger seat too often in their first match against Mamelodi Sundowns. This time they've taken the game to Sundowns. And they haven't allowed them to play their usual stuff with the usual freedom Mamelodi Sundowns are greeted with. There's movement on the Sundowns bench. 1 goal already in this second half. Charity Mubanga. Sundowns worried and Sundowns stretched defensively. Didn't come off Makubela last. The final touch coming off Charity Mubanga. Testing times now for Mamelodi Sundowns ladies. Just to remind you that they have played in every single edition of the CAF Women's Champions League. Without fault, without mistake. They've always been there in that continental competition that brings together the best teams from around the African continent. Mamelodi Sundowns have always represented this southern region, but for the first time, their status in that competition is vulnerable, and it hangs in the balance. And it would be a real shock not to Women's Champions League, considering that they've won this competition twice before. They've won that competition twice before. And if they want to be a part of the CAF Women's Champions League this year, they're going to have to fend off a inspired, a rejuvenated Zesco Ndola. Piri. Here's Tolakela, yet to really get stuck in this match. Mubanga has done so. Ludwig just knees that one to Ramalepe, who took no chance. Penelope Malubwa. Ludwig to Dlamini, gives the ball away to Milam Lambo. Charity Mubanga. Bambanani and Bane got there first. Not the greatest of matches this is proving out to be for Dlamini. The game riddled with too many unforced errors. That's a free kick against Biana and Sundowns. The two-time former champions of this competition really being tested. And she's a bit too complacent. Time for a substitution. Time for Frida Kabwe. Started the first match for Zesco Ndola girls, a consistent and constant substitute appearance maker, and she's going to come on now to replace Mila Mlambo. Scored a beauty against Ntopwa, and she was full of running today, and Frida Kabwe is also an energizer bunny herself. Let's see how this one will go. Ndlovu hits it against the Sundowns wall. Rabale looks for Magia. Magia's pulled back. That should be a yellow card. For the pulling back of the shirt. No cards just yet. Magia. Rabale used her body to good effect, and Ndlovu was the lady that committed the foul. The ones that sting the most are the ones that you don't really anticipate, and I don't think Rabale was anticipating that blow. But it seems like the lady that committed the challenge is in a much worse state. So 4 goals in semi-final number 1, 2 goals in this second semi-final. Ramalepe striking first for Sundowns in typical Rabale fashion. And then this happened. Piri profiting off a Dlamini howler. Unfortunate and a lucky break for Piri. But you create your own luck. You create your own luck by presiding in positions like that. This is what happened to Ndlovu. She committed the foul on Rabale, and then I think maybe when Rabale went down, she perhaps landed on Ndlovu, and that's what has caused the pain for Ndlovu. Excellent atmosphere in the stands. The people know that this is a real, proper contest in the CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers. It's a match of magnitude, continental proportions. Remember that bragging rights are at stake. Who will rule supreme in this southern African region? Sundowns have done so twice before. Zesco Ndola hope to do so for the very first time in their history. Godfrey Sapula is not at all happy with Rabale and what she chose to do with that free kick. Tandi. Tolakele. Good pass there to Rabale. Now Magia, huge chance. She steps on the ball. Instead of guiding it, just setting up a better chance. Tandi goes past Chomba. Ludwig is there, together with Rabale. There's Biana, wow, what a spin. Tolakele. Tandi faces up against Piri. Tolakele, not a cross, not a real strike at goal either. So it is a lot more open in the second half, just like we expected it to be. Penelope Malubwa. Ndlovu is back. Rabale cushions it down. Tolakele does the same. Rabale to Magia. She's going to take on Piri. Or she'll look for support. She does the latter. That's a goal kick. That Sundowns attack is not really playing with the kind of belief we saw them play with in the group stages. Usually Magia would put her head down, take on her marker, skip past the outside, put a cross or shot into the box. That time around, the move just lost its steam. Here's Frida Kabwe. All square, with about 25 minutes still to come in this second semi-final. Magia from the edge of the box. Tolakele virtually from the corner flag, not reaching Isabella Ludwig. Look at Charity Mubanga go. Look at the commitment and the determination. Piri. No offside from the throw-in. Kabwe onside. It should be a corner kick. It's going to be a corner for Zesco Ndola girls. Feeling the pace of the game now is Asana Hadebe. Mamelodi Sundowns have quickly realized that this is not the same Zesco Ndola side they encountered just a few days ago. Piri delivers over the head of Dlamini, over the head of everyone else in the box. It's going to be picked up here by Ndlovu. Ndlovu finds Kabwe on the bicycle. Mamelodi Sundowns are being taken into deep waters. But can Zesco Ndola girls keep them there? Kabwen flicks it on. Ramalete. Ludwig from deeper. Penelope Malubwa, Charity Mubanga. Piri took a blow to the face, it seems like. Scored Zesco Ndola's first goal of the competition against Mtopwa last week, Friday afternoon. And she has scored their latest goal in the competition. Zesco Ndola are performing ever so well, especially if you consider that their captain is not in attendance. Their captain being Chitundu. It's good to see so many faces packed in the stand here at the A.W. Miller Stadium. It's a rather picturesque ground, if I do say so myself. Always attracts good crowds. And you cannot ask for a much better backdrop than that one. So Mamelodi Sundowns' magnificent 7 against Namibia's Beauties on Tuesday was the first time Sundowns scored 7 goals or more in this competition since 2023, when they defeated Olympique de Moroni by 8-0 in the group stage of that competition. And coincidentally, Makubela, another centre-half, scored a hat-trick, just like Mbane managed to do on Tuesday afternoon. Goals are more difficult to come by this afternoon, however. And in Sundowns' first match against Zesco Ndola, they might have only defeated the Zambians by a 0 but it was one of the most dominant 1-0 displays you will ever see. Entirely different match this time around. That 1-0 scoreline didn't tell the full story on Sunday afternoon. But this 1-1 scoreline is completely fair if you consider the balance of play and how it's gone so far. Magia does cause the foul. A whole lot of fouls and stoppages, especially in that first half. Not too many so far in this second interval, with 20 minutes to go. Plus stoppage time, as you can see there. They've sent out Mali and Simone Sols and Oratile Mokwena to go and warm up for Sundowns. Ludwig tries to skirt her way through. Tolakele is shut down. Lovo takes on Isabella Ludwig and does so successfully. Bane clears it in the nick of time, just before Charity Mubanga could close her down. There goes Piri. Her first touch is delightful. Still Tolakele, 3 goals in the competition for her. And just like Piri scored Zesco Ndola's first goal of the competition, Tolakele did so for Mamelodi Sundowns. Just to remind you as well that if the scoreline remains this way, there will be no extra time. Sundowns and Zesco Ndola will go straight to a penalty shootout. Ludwig, Sanga Hadebe, Rabale, and then Walia. Frida Kabwe. Mtandi. Ludwig playing as a centre-half. Tandi works it nicely to Ntabiseng Magia. Rabale in the box to try and find. She can only find Hazel Nali. And now this semi-final will be decided by the finest of margins. Will these two teams apply the cautious approach and just wait for the penalty shootouts? It's probably too early to play that way. You would think that both will go for the winner during normal time. You don't want to hand yourself over to fate, because anything can happen in a penalty shootout. I said at the start of the show, at the top of the game, that if Zesco Ndola are to pull this off, it might just be up there with one of the biggest upsets we've seen in the history of the CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers. But they've got a lot of work to do, a lot of focus still required to fend off Mamelodi Sundowns. And again, not the first time that a Zesco Ndola girl went in for the sliding challenge, initiated the challenge, and then came off worse for wear after the challenge. Zesco Ndola did indeed have an interesting match against Ntopwa the last time they took to the field, because they scored 5 fantastic goals against the Malawians, but then they got complacent, as most teams would do after scoring 5 goals, and Ntopwa scored 3 goals of their own in the last 15 minutes of that match against Zesco Ndola. A team that will be hoping that they can avoid that same kind of capitulation in this second half. They folded in the final moments against Ntopwa. Can't afford to do so against Sundowns, who have a free kick here. Free kick that's taken by Biana. Ludwig wanting a corner kick. Sundowns wanting a corner kick. But it's Zesco Ndola's ball. Join Mamelodi Sundowns from crosstown rivals Amatux. Lovu stabs it to Frida Kabwe, who was just hoping that her pass would reach someone, and it did. It reached Piri, who goes past Mtandi, and she can only find Isabella Ludwig, but she reclaims the ball for Zesco Ndola. Outside of the boot pass, Flamini didn't come, and then Ramalepe had to watch it. A good amount of frustration creeping into Mamelodi Sundowns game. Sumptuous first take by Rabale. And then the volley pass was also on the money. Tolakele with the reverse. And Tandi with the run down the left-hand side. She's going to take on Balya. Tandi tries to hand Balya off. Gets a crossing, far from the level of danger it needed to be. Here comes Frida Kabwe. Oh no, Charity Mubanga has pulled up, but she's going to carry on running, and then she goes down eventually. Muscle fatigue starting to set in. Rabale was especially not happy that the referee called playback, the referee being Teresa Sitoko of Lesotho, who did have another debutant from Lesotho, Kick for Life Women's Football Academy, made a splash while they lasted in Group B. A massage for Charity Mubanga. And a substitute for Mamelodi Sundowns. Melinda Khadiete started Sundowns' first 2 matches of the competition. She was out of the starting 11 on Tuesday. She was out of the starting 11 today, and she's going to come on for Utumelo Rabale, which is interesting, to say the least. But perhaps Godfrey Supula sees something that we do not. Rabale, their best player, is taken off. Mtandi, another one of their best players, taken off. Mokoena has come on to restore some composure in the midfield. She might play alongside Isabella Ludwig, or the inclusion of Mokoena might allow Isabella Ludwig to play closer to the strike force. That remains to be seen. Full time of normal time is fast approaching. Penalty shootouts looming if a winner cannot be found. Asana Hadebe to Melinda Khadiete might reach her. It's also interesting to note that when these two clubs first encountered one another on Sunday, Zesco Ndola might have ended that match with only 30% possession. They also only might have had 1 chance at goal. They were completely controlled, but they are very competitive this afternoon. And it's anyone's game as of right now. Anyone can progress into that finale stage. The final that will take place at 3 o'clock this Sunday. So set your reminders for that one. Whoever is going to join Gaborone United, who defeated Mozambique's Costa do Sol earlier on in the 12 o'clock kickoff by 3-1. Gaborone United were in the lead at half-time, and they made their lead count, unlike Mamelodi Sundowns, who have allowed Zesco Ndola back into the contest. Diana to Magia. Melinda Khadiete is through for Sundowns. She needs to score. She doesn't. It's a woeful miss. The moment got too big for Melinda Khadiete, who is stuck there in the box like a statue. Zesco Ndola led off the hook. Mary Mbewe is ready and eager. And here she goes, Mary Mbewe, to replace Charity Mubanga up top for Zesco Ndola. What an opportunity that was for Melinda Khadiete. Perhaps she's still cold, only recently coming off the bench. But it's difficult to come up with any excuses. Hazel Nali put under pressure by Magia. Seemingly not enough. Ramalepe. Khadiete to Mokoena. Doesn't usually play there for Sundowns, but she does so now. Ramalepe. Piri's header goes back to her goalkeeper, Hazel Nali. It's also, this is the chance then for Melinda Khadiete, who opened up her body way too much. And it's a big miss from such a close range. Wanting to be too precise, too cute with that attempt. But as I was saying, it's rather interesting to note that an all-star 11 of the group stage was released before the semi-finals got underway. 5 Sundowns players feature in that group stage all-star 11, but not a single Zesco Ndola goal featured in that group stage 11. Sanda Hadebe. Ludwig was rising, as too was Mbane and Makubela. She couldn't quite twist her neck enough and direct her attempt on target. Makubela, a stalwart for club and country. The centre half under pressure to produce. Isabella Ludwig under pressure to produce. And it causes so much frustration and anger from Godfrey Sapula. This is not the team that he presided over in the group stage. Seems like everything they wanted to do in the group stage, they did, and they did so with ease. No one stopped them. They could play and dictate at free will. Not to be in this semi-final. Muluba. And this is the kind of match that always had late drama written all over it. That's audacious stuff there by Ramalepe. Ramalepe does poke it towards Machia. Kind bounce of the ball for her. Melinda Khandiete will look to burst in behind. She does. Can she keep her feet? Can she work in a cross? She doesn't, but her cross doesn't get very far. Biana. Ludwig again caught on her heels. Mamelodi Sundowns, for now, are the owners of a perfect semi-final record in this competition. They've never faltered at this stage before. They've also only conceded the one goal in their 3 previous semi-finals. And they are known to be free-flowing goal-getters, especially in this competition. They've scored 12 goals in this competition already, Mamelodi Sundowns. And they scored 21 goals in the last edition they featured in. It was 21 goals in 5 matches. But their attack has not been as ruthless as before. Two balls on the field. Zesco Ndola trying to clinch a late one. It would be a huge shock to shock the host team, so to say, although this is far from Mamelodi Sundowns' home ground. They've often traveled here for bouts against the University of Johannesburg Lady Football Club, although they usually play those matches at the Soweto campus. This is in Auckland Park in Johannesburg. And this match also marks the 3rd time that Mamelodi Sundowns are playing against a Zambian club at the semi-final stage. In 2021, in the very first edition of the competition, they defeated Green Buffaloes at this stage by 1-0. And 2 years ago, in 2023, Sundowns again defeated Green Buffaloes at this exact stage. But this Zambian foe, the Zesco Ndola girls, keeping them at bay for as long as they can. Sanda Hadebe gave it away. Makubela, she's made a mistake. Frida Kabwe, and it's gone in. Zesco Ndola have snatched a late goal. Another mistake from Makubela, and another mistake by Dlamini. A comedy of errors. And pure ecstasy and celebration for Zesco Ndola girls, profiting of 2 goalkeeping howlers. You don't have any words for this. Frida Kabwe taking it off Makubela, and then Dlamini with something that we've never seen before today. Mzansi's number 1 is having a performance to forget. Frida Kabwe with a goal to never forget. Who would have had this scoreline on their bingo card? The substitute, Frida Kabwe. This would be seismic. This would be historic. Mamelodi Sundowns have only 5 minutes to rescue the situation. Only 5 minutes separate Zesco Ndola girls from the finals of the CAF Women's Champions League. Magia. Sundowns need magic from somewhere, from somebody. They've been found wanting. And Dlamini was too casual in the first half, and she was too complacent in the second. And Bane again. They don't usually take this long in the football, but they are being punished here by Zesco Ndola girls. Piri went for it herself. It might be Kabwe again. That should be it. That should be it. Game, set and match, and tickets. Mamelodi Sundowns on the brink of being knocked out of the competition. And Zesco Ndola girls making history in front of our very eyes. Frida Kabwe making history in front of our eyes. Talk about a match to never forget. A match that will go down in COSAFA qualification history. You are witnessing the end of a Mamelodi Sundowns dynasty in the southern region. Mamelodi Sundowns have never lost a semi-final in this competition before, but they stared down the barrel of a demoralizing semi-final defeat. Mamelodi Sundowns were far from their best, yes, but take nothing away from Zesco Ndola girls. Defeated in the group stage, but what a response. What a terrific response by William Zulu's Zesco Ndola. There is to be a goal check, as there always is with VAR in company. If the third goal stands, it would, so to say, be all over for Mamelodi Sundowns. That third goal taking a nasty deflection. A fortuitous third. But there's nothing lucky. Absolutely nothing lucky about this performance by Zesco Ndola. They've wanted it more than Mamelodi Sundowns, and they didn't make mistakes. They didn't make one single mistake. Did Zesco Ndola? Mamelodi Sundowns have made 3 of them, and they were punished thrice. What a story this would be. This competition has been captivating since last week, Friday. We anticipated this kind of drama, but nobody would have anticipated Mamelodi Sundowns to bow out of the competition before the finale stage, especially after they defeated Zesco Ndola girls. Not only did they defeat Zesco Ndola girls in the group stage, but they completely outplayed the Zambians. And that is the team that they are likely to meet in the final if they can wrap this one up, which they should do. Gaborone United waiting in the final. Zesco Ndola with 1 foot in the finals. It's 3-1 for now, but the goal check is still on the go. Let's see. She's called to the pitch side monitor. She wasn't. No, this is the first time the referee has gone over to that pitch side monitor, Teresa Sitoko, to have a look at this deflected goal that Frida Kabwe scored. Her second of the competition and her second in just a matter of minutes. So I think they're looking at the player that's in front of Dlamini's eyes. The player that seems to be Mary Mbewe, wearing the number 15. Did she interfere with play? And from that view, you would probably think so, considering that she was right in front of Dlamini. But Dlamini was already on her way down to the ground when Frida Kabwe launched the strike, and then Mbane got a nasty deflection on it. So I don't think it's going to change much. It wasn't going to change anything. But what has she decided? This will be the final blow, the final nail in the coffin for Mamelodi Sundowns, if it stands, which it doesn't. So they've got seconds left to rescue this one, Sundowns. Only 2-1. And not the 3. Mbane goes up towards Mokoena. And it was a bold and brave choice by Godfrey Sepula to take off Boitumelo Rabale and Mtandi with about 15 minutes to go in this game. But Sundowns were far from their best today. And their substitutes have failed to make an impact. Sundowns have a free kick. Sundowns are out of time, ladies and gentlemen. William Zulu says it's over. But it's not over just yet. Last chance saloon for Mamelodi Sundowns. It needs to go into the box. It doesn't. The whistle is in the mouth of the referee. She's going to blow it any time now. Mbewe. Look either to keep possession or run to the corner flag. She does neither. Sundowns get the ball back. Biana Tolakele is run out of gas. She doesn't have the energy to continue. For the first time in their history, Mamelodi Sundowns are not going to be playing CAF Women's Champions League football because of a mighty underdog display by Zesco Ndola. The hometown favourites on the brink of being knocked out. You're so close to the finishing line. Unless if it's really serious, stay on your feet, stay on the field, see out the match. You're so desperately close. Be it as it may. Mulenga will play the last few seconds here for Zesco Ndola. She'll get the chance to celebrate when that full-time whistle goes. You would think it's only a matter of time. Sundowns here with borrowed time. And finally, we get going again for the last few moments. For the very last moment, in fact, and there you have it, Zesco Ndola girls with a seismic shock in the CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers. Dreamers, debutantes, and now finalists. They are one match away from playing in the CAF Women's Champions League for the very first time. And they've defeated two giants of the game to get here. First, the Green Buffaloes back home, and now Mamelodi Sundowns this afternoon, who will not be playing Champions League football. The ecstasy, the elation, and the despair on show. Muluba, she was brilliant in this match, as too were most of those Zesco Ndola girls. And perhaps Mamelodi Sundowns thought that they were going to encounter the same Zesco Ndola team that they did last Sunday. But this is not the same side. And I would like to confirm that the player of the match for this match is Piri. She was the player of the match against Ntopwa in the last round, and she's the player of the match again. Great performance. And she'll be needed in that final between themselves and the returning finalists of last year, Gaborone United. So tell your friends, tell your neighbors, set your reminders for that finale showdown on Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock between Botswana's finest and Zambia's finest. Zesco Ndola girls have defeated, they have slayed Mamelodi Sundowns by 2-1. They produced more goal attempts than Sundowns, more shots on target. What a story. Powering the nation, Zesco Ndola girls, and powering their way through to the final.
Coach, hard luck on the result. It wasn't an easy one, as you said. Your impressions of the match?
Yeah, we knew it was not going to be easy, but if we are honest, I think the better team won today. I think they were better than us. They wanted it more. They fought. They dominated the second balls. I think we're really poor today. I think we didn't deserve to win today. I think, we're really poor. We didn't play well. Yes, but sometimes when you don't play well, sometimes you need to fight a little bit more. But also in that department, they were really better than us. So congratulations to Zesco. I think they deserve to win here today.
Any disappointment of bowing out at this stage of the competition?
Yeah, we are disappointed, obviously. I mean, with our ambitions, we wanted to make sure that we correct what happened in the CAF Champions League last season, and unfortunately it's not to be. So we're really, really, really disappointed.
And Coach, it's back to the domestic league for you. What lessons are you taking back there?
Yeah, well, we're a team that wants play to win every match. You know, we are disappointed, but it doesn't mean we cannot go there, refresh, get the renewed energy, try to make sure that we regroup as soon as possible, and we try and make sure that we get back on track and win the game, so that we are able to win the domestic league, so that we have a chance next season again to play COSAFA, and we try and rectify what happened here today.
Thank you, Coach. Hard luck and all the best going forward.
Thank you.
That was Coach Godfrey making way for winning coach, Coach William of the Zesco Ndola girls, making history here this afternoon, booking a place in the finals of the CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers. At the first time of asking, Coach, congratulations. At the start of the game, you said your ladies can turn the tables around, and they did exactly that. Your impressions of the match?
Today the girls came positively, because the first game we played, as I said, we didn't know how Sundown plays. We have been just watching them on the television. Then some people there in Zambia, no, if you go, they'll score you. So the time we came in that league, we wanted to defend. The worst result was maybe we come out with a draw, but we failed. Then these 2 days we played our usual game. This is the game that we play. Yes.
Coach, it's a Botswana and Zambia final on Sunday. You caught a bit of the semi-final earlier on. What are you expecting in that match?
The coming match?
Yes.
I know it will be very difficult than this one because they are watching us, and I know it's a good side. It's not pushovers, but we just have to come and work hard so that we get our positive results.
And how do you manage your players' fatigue here? This coach here, the match here this afternoon wasn't an easy one.
Yeah, that was a problem, but we managed them by giving them yesterday. The other day, we gave them 100% for the resting. So they didn't do anything. Yesterday we came, we trained, and today they have delivered.
Congratulations, coach. See you on Sunday.
Thank you very much.